First up this time is Crowntakers. Crowntakers ticks a lot of boxes for me. It's a fantasy, roguelike strategy game, and I'm pretty big on all of those pieces. It can easily be played windowed, it's entirely mouse controlled, and because it's turn-based, it means you can play it at your own speed, with as much or as little focus on the game as you want. So it's not hard to switch between doing the game and doing other things on another window. That optional, hands-off nature may seem like an odd qualifier to call out, but I actively look for low-attention games like that to fill the time between more serious endeavors. Some games that have satisfied that itch before for me include Slay the Spire, Dicey Dungeons, and Darkest Dungeon. So it's nice having a game like that ready to go. So how does Crowntakers stack up? The first thing is that I really like some of the ideas behind the basic game mechanics. All of your gold, material, and potions are handled in very small single-digit numbers. The same can be said about most of the combat values. It keeps balance clean and simple, and it makes things easy to understand. This immediately creates a very clear and consistent economy that makes everything you find feel valuable. In this sense, it's a super classic and straightforward roguelike. The action economy is also solid. You get 2 actions per turn, and you can use them to move, shoot, defend, or use abilities. So you can move and attack once, or not move and attack twice. Defending gives you the ability to counterattack people who approach you. In general, it feels like this game heavily awards a very defensive playstyle. I found myself being far more effective when I turtled up as hard as possible and let the enemies run into my defenders, especially when my archer is able to attack 2 units approaching him. So, the decisions that go into pushing, defending, flanking, they're all really simple, but there's a solid amount of tactical depth when all these mechanics actually come together. I also love the music, when it works. Sometimes it randomly cuts out and then you just get a few seconds of silence, and then it just restarts. I don't know if this is a bug or just a bad loop, but when the music is playing, it's really good. Now, the quality of the songs is a cut or 2 above the rather plain and unremarkable artwork in the game. You're greeted with a pretty beautiful title screen, and then the rest of the game is just not great. You've constantly got this gray Windows 95 desktop background looking chicken scratch pattern behind everything that does a really great job of framing the rest of the unpolished nature of the rest of the game. Crowntakers does have a lot of great pieces, and those come together to form a whole that's somehow less than the sum of its parts. It just doesn't click. I don't feel that usual roguelike signature drive to just try one more time. Crowntakers just isn't very exciting or satisfying. It leans a little more into the frustrating and boring side. I'm going to give this one a thumbs down. Would not recommend, and I won't be coming back to this one.